Welcome back, challengers. Your boy Darwin Darko here. Brought some dope beats with me for you to step to. And we got 5 projects on the docket. We have Good Tang with my Muse. Vaughn dropped a banger project. The Good, the Bad, the Dollar Menu. Akeem Ali. The Texture Tape. Ledisi dropped The Crown. And running up the rear, Lloyd Banks. All or Nothing 3. Looking forward to talking about that one for sure. But let's cover a couple of honorable mentions real quick. Tennis is going on right now. It's clay season. Tennis is going on almost all the time, but right now they're going into clay. And Naomi Osaka just won her first title since was it 2023 or when she had a baby? I don't remember when she had a baby. So it's been a while. It's been 4 years, yeah. 2021. And she just won at the Saint Malo Open in France, which is pretty. This is her first title for the year, but also the French Open is coming at the end of this month. So you already won in France. You already got the atmosphere. You already got the crowd. You already got the feel of the surface. Although it's going to be a different surface because the French Open is at a different spot, but still, just the atmosphere in general. You got that under your belt. So that's really dope that Naomi was able to win that. She posted that it's kind of ironic to win my first trophy back on the surface that I thought was my worst. That's one of my favorite things about life, though. There's always room to grow and evolve. She posted that on Twitter. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what she's got in the tank, at the French Open. Of course, my other favorite, Coco Golf, is going to be in that tournament also. So, I don't know if we'll get a chance to see them go 1-on-1. But also shout out to Coco. She just got runner-up at the Madrid Open, and so she was over in Spain while that whole blackout thing happened. Matter of fact, she had just won.
So maybe I just need to not get a lot of sleep.
Post-match interview, and the mic and everything cut off at that point. Well, electricity cut off everywhere. She was talking about how she was trying to get back, and it was like 2 hours just to get back to the hotel. You're sitting in traffic, but there's no traffic lights and all that kind of stuff. But she made it through all that, and she beat Swiatek on her way to the finals there, and so she had to face up with Sabalenka. We know both Swiatek and Sabalenka are beast mode. So Sabalenka was just a little too strong for her right on that day, but I like the way Coco was moving. I like the way she was. The thing was with the clay. You slide in and stuff like that. Sometimes you put. You don't have as much pop on the spin when with whatever you're doing with it off the court. But I think Coco looked good and confident. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she does at the French Open. I mean, I got to get out there to the French Open one day. It's on my bucket list. That Wimbledon, Australian Open. Got to get that in. Hopefully over the next couple years. The other thing I would like to quickly mention honorably is I saw that movie Thunderbolts, Marvel flick. Not going to do any sort of breakdown or anything like that, but and there's no real spoilers what I'm about to say. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like the whole theme of the movie, the whole point of the movie is this centralized message. It is a message that's near and dear to me that I'm speaking all the time. Guys, I'm talking to you right now. You cannot punch your trauma away. Okay? You just can't punch your trauma. It just don't work like that. And they made it very explicit. You'll see what I'm talking about when you watch. It's like, Nope. You need therapy. You need help. You need friends. You need support. You need a support system. What you need. You just can't punch your problems away. It just don't work like that. So, think about that when you watch it, and then oh, okay, that's what Darwin was talking about. You'll see what I'm talking about. You come back, put it in the comments, like and subscribe because I gave you that recommendation. Let me know if you're watching any of the tournaments that's going on this month and on clay. But the big one, French Open, coming up May 25th. So check that one out. Tang is a Haitian American musician known for blending traditional Haitian compa with modern Afro-Caribbean and urban styles. He's a producer, singer, songwriter, recognized generally for his energetic and genre-fusing sound. His debut music album here, My Muse, was just released a couple months ago right now. That'll be March 11th. He's collaborating with folks like DJ Incredible, Kenny Haiti, Saint-Lun's on that bit too. Yeah, there's with this set of folks, it's a unique blend of textures. They keep their own styles while cohesively coming together. It's a beautiful thing. This project, like I said, blends traditional Haitian compa with the Afro-Caribbean stuff, Caribbean pop that's been going around the past few years. It's got a little bit of American urban fusion in there too, but still keeping the traditional and contemporary elements just to combine to a sound that is rooted but also forward thinking. The production has rhythms that are layered. The guitars are rhythmic. Modern electronic elements come together for an immersive sound. Each track emphasizes Tang's vocal range and storytelling, balancing the live instruments with the digital beats. This is the forward-leaning, forward-thinking, new age elements that he's adding to the jazz. Each track gives a chance to emphasize his vocal range and storytelling. It's a great balance of the duality of the live instrumentation, the digital beats, coming together to just a platform for his vocals and artistry. So the album feels emotionally like it's a heartfelt journey through love, growth, cultural pride. It's connecting deeply with if you listen, you can really connect with the theme of the different tracks. It's not one cohesive. It's not like a concept album, but there's plenty of love talk and relationships and stuff like that in there, especially when you look at tracks like the title track My Muse and Moyen, which explores joy, complexities of romantic connections, things like that. The track, this one joint, what is this one called? Yeah, there's this one track with Kenny Haiti on there called Bye Bye. It highlights resilience, self-discovery, overcoming adversity. He wants a listener to I was listening in an interview, and he's like, he's trying to do a thing where he wants to like make easy listening. He wants his music to be like easy listening, where you like kind of chill, almost like background music where it sets a mood for the room kind of thing. But I'm like, bro, there's a lot. How do you do that with compa? Like this you can't help but dance to this. Like if that was your goal, bro, you ain't do it. I mean, there's a couple like really low beat, slow tempo stuff. There's a couple of tracks like that that's like, okay, yeah, this is more of a vibe where you just like chilling, like, you know what I mean, cooling in the corner or something like that, cooling at your table, whatever you're doing. But like most of it is compa and it's upbeat and it's like you can't help but dance to compa. It just does something to your hips. I'm sorry, it just can't. Good try there, buddy. But He's a big fan of like R&B and that like smooth R&B, like if you listen to the smooth R&B station kind of thing. But like I can see the influences in his vocals, but the track itself is just these tracks are just way too groovy for you to for 12 jazz. So, it's 12 jazz. I recommend checking out this interview he did with Kyle in the morning. Very, very introspective. It's about an hour long. How long was this thing? It's yeah, it's about an hour long interview. He really Good Tang really talks about his journey through his career, starting with ecstasy and then going on to play with Enposib. Enposib. I covered Meji some seasons back. Amazing album. Was it Kansu Duedeka? Was the name of that album? And so Meji was part of Enposib. And so Good Tang replaced Meji as the keyboard on the keys. A funny thing, he didn't even really know how to play the keys like that. He just practiced for a while, and then eventually, yeah, like, oh, we need a keyboard, pianist. So he jumped on the keys, and so that just became part of his repertoire. Then songwriter and everything like that. But he sort of came to this project by accident. A bunch of this, it seems like a bunch of the pivotal moments in his career was just like there was a need, there was a void, and he just like stepped in to fill in the void and came about to make this project. So I'm glad that it worked out for him to do it because it's a beautiful piece of art for him to continue his solo career like that. I'm proud to see his evolution, and I'm hoping he gives us a little. Watch that interview because he gives us a little bit of like a little bit of hope that maybe Enposib might have a comeback. It might not. Maybe it's not a project, but maybe it's just like maybe a live show somewhere or something like that. So it'd be dope. They come to the States, I would love to see that the whole band come together just like for like one big night or something like that. So check out this project, My Muse by Good Tang. Hey, like he said, he's on a high level of niggatry right now. All right. Vaughn. This boy dropped The Good, the Bad, and the Dollar Menu April 25th. There's another TDE artist. It chronicles his rise from Long Beach to national recognition, blending personal storytelling with sharp lyricism. Man, the project is amazing. It has it's like a reflective diary tracing his journey from using stolen Wi-Fi to working with the likes of Pusha T. The title, The Good, the Bad, the Dollar Menu. I wonder if there's something like a little deeper he's doing when it comes to, it's a play on The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, the movie. It was a Western. And yeah, he's from the West, but the Westerns weren't usually like West like that, right? But I think like, so it's the good, right? So the highs, the bad, you're talking about the lows, and the ugly. Oh, and I'm sorry, the dollar menu would be represent the struggle. Uh, I don't I don't know how this is still this. I don't know how this is a mixtape though. This thing is labeled a mixtape. I I really don't know the difference between some albums and mixtapes. Like I feel like mixtapes was really back in the day very distinguishable, right? You had the DJ come in there, you know what I mean? It's also, Clue would drop a thing like that, you know what I mean? Or DJ drama or something like what like the producer tags would be like heavy. They'll freaking rewind records and stuff like that. So you knew there was mixed, like there was no doubt that they were mixtapes. Even they would even incorporate things like completely just like doing a remix of somebody else's big track that they had going on for a year. So you would expect something like a hot song like Nokia, for example, like somebody drop a mixtape now, they would take the Nokia beat and do their like version of that. Like this was mixtapes was about. So but nowadays some of these mixtapes just sound like regular studio albums, bro. This Ray Vaughn project is so cohesive, it's so targeted, and so well produced without any fillers. None of these fillers. I'm like, how is this not just a studio album? But it's a mixtape. It's narrative driven. The production mirrors the project's emotional arcs. It enhances Vaughn's introspective storytelling, which is carefully curated throughout the palette of the sounds that's going on through this whole project. That first track on this joint is called Flockers, right? Flockers, is it called Flocker's Remorse, I think? Yeah, Flocker's Remorse. It has this mellow piano, some like gospel vocal chops. There's like these vinyl textures to it. And there's no beat. I call it, it's like a beat tease, because it's like, you think any second that beat finna drop, but that dude is just flowing on that joint. And it's like, after it ends and you realize the song is over, no beat. And it's like, whoa, he was flowing on that joint. You still had your head, but like, no beat. And you still had your neck snapping. So that it was somber, reflective tone, and just like, damn, I'm just feeling every bar. So I don't know what to tell you. It's a mixtape. There's no beat on some of these. This thing is cohesive. It's very introspective. How did that joint go? What do you say? I got the bills piling up, fridge empty too. For a week straight, chicken noodle soup. Call from my side bitch. She said the baby do. Bucket catching all the rain holes in my roof. Landlord beating down the door, but I ain't got the rent. So every dollar that I earn, I already spent. Yeah, I mean, he is like going through it on this track. There's no beat, there's no distraction. It's like, I'm trying to walk you through that struggle, the good, the bad, the dollar menu. There's the thing that I love about especially those bars right there, but for cohesive throughout the entire, continuing throughout the entire album, is that he takes you through the struggle and he sits with it and he doesn't shy away from it. He owns it, and from top to bottom. Now, you might think that like, oh, he's not the first to talk about being broke and being poor, but like, no, I think he is. I'm gonna say he is, because a lot of these rappers, they be talking about, when they talk about they broke, they give a bar, they give like one line to it, and then they quickly get back into, but look at me, look at all my chains now, look at all my watches, the bezel, you know what I mean? I'm good now. Like they do not sit in it. They do not sit in that filth like what is it, Linus with the dirty blanket, just like, no, I'm gonna this is how long I was broke, I was poor, I grew up this way, and I'm not like trying to like take the funk, like that shit don't hit me still and sit with me still. Like you could tell this is a person who has lived in poverty and it's part of his identity, and he is coming out of it, and he is not shying away from being like, no, this was a real thing, and I am going to give voice to that. Some people are still living in that struggle, right? So I can see that music really speaking to somebody right now who's still on the EBT, you know, who's still on that unemployment check. Shout out to all the scammers out there trying to get that PPP, you know, because they needed to come up. And hopefully somebody flipped that and they did something good with it. There's another track, A Dope, Miles Away from Heaven. So again, this is like sparse arrangements, ambient textures, but the lyrics, they just resonate. It's like the music and production is quality stuff, really great stuff. This is TDE we're talking about, but they just know how to make it match the moment. There's East Chat, another dope track. There's a West Coast bounce on this joint. Blends classic West Coast funk with the modern trap elements, grounded in the sound of Long Beach and Vaughn's roots here. There's some layered sampling going on, reverse melodies, there's pitch vocals and chopped loops. They give the album this texture, a collage of aesthetic that is tied to the overall theme of memory, just living through the memories of this and trauma. So part of the memory of it too is that it's not just he's talking about something that's happened in the past, but he's expressing how this leads to the trauma that he has now in his current state, right? His current self, his present self. It has an effect on him, you know, and he's owning it without like just just, let me just dip a toe and let y'all know. Let me give y'all a little bit peek behind the curtain and then boom, let me back. No, I'm good. I'm balling. I'm a baller now. I'm with TDE. Nah, man, this is like I said this last time, and I mean, Mr. Morale, it was really a big time permission structure with Kendrick. I mean, it's hard. How can I talk about TDE and I don't mention Kendrick, right? And granted, Vaughn is standing up on his own on his joint. Let me see. I think what was I looking up here? Let me see. Vaughn is doing a lot of this, like this introspection by himself, but he's got a good amount of collaborators here that understood the assignment. Ashley Young, we got Isaiah Rashad, J Rock, La Russell on here. So Samara Sin, you got a couple different features on there. It's a mixtape, so it might not cost much for them to jump on this joint, but they understood the assignment. They hopped on and kept the struggle message. They kept the trauma message, and you sat in it and you had no escape from it listening to this entire thing. But there's a survival aspect to all of it, and Vaughn does dabble on that, where he's saying like, yo, this is what it was, and I got out of that, and you can too. It's really an encouraging album. It's sort of like rainbow, like what was that? How did that phrase go? You see the light at the end of the tunnel, sort of thing. He's got a track on here that I definitely recommend checking out. It's his version of like Dear Mama, right? Flat Shasta. Shasta is this like an off-brand like soda, right? I know what was it we had over there? We had like Rito. Was it Rito? I think we had Rito back in Miami. I don't remember what it's called, something like that. But Flat Shasta, I guess they got that over there on the West. And this track is like Dear Mama, but whereas Tupac was a lot more it was like a love letter mostly, Dear Mama, like a proud kind of like uplifting kind of thing. This song, Flash Shasta, is talking about his mom's. It's like it's a tragic story. But again, he's living in the trauma. He's bringing us through that journey. And she has, I don't know if she's still going through this stuff, but he's talking about her going through schizophrenia, substance abuse, and he has a visual for it too. You just go check out YouTube, check out the music video for it. And he's just like having like a one-on-one with this character on the other side of the couch, just like pouring out his heart, like, yo, this is what I was a kid going through. Matter of fact, he has visuals for almost every track on here. It's kind of a dope concept. I love that artists are doing this these days, where you don't. He's got some fully produced videos, but a lot of artists are doing these minimalist kind of accompaniments to their art now, where he's not doing a lot. He's got a one camera, and the song's playing in the background. Well, he's playing for us, for the audience, and the visual is just different dollar menu items, and it's just you see just the hands and like the food. So there's got one where it's just like a dollar menu or stuff that you get at the dollar store, right? They got one where he's got like, got the fake cereal, it's like Fruit Loops, whatever, Fruit Loops, the fake cereal and they come in the bag and you pour it in the bowl and that's what they eat. That's what they eat, right? So he talking about here sometimes, man, he had sleep for dinner. You ever heard that? Having sleep for dinner? Boy, I grew up poor. I've had a night or two, right? I mean, I ain't have it that bad where it was that often, but there's on occasions where it's like, I sure enough recognized that that one video where it was just the white bread, the regular flat white bread with the hot dog, and just threw some ketchup on there, and that was dinner. And each of y'all get one, right? It's 3 boys in the house, right? Each of y'all get one. That was dinner. And so that was another a menu option that was just like a video, and you see that. Or there was another one where he talks about splitting a 6-piece nugget with his kids. Like, this is some broke boy stuff. And it's like, I'm not saying that pejorative. It's like, yo, bro, this is a real life experience that this dude's going through, and he's like letting us in and like not even freaking shying away from it. Just like he's owning it and not pretending like he ain't go through this. Like, people talking about getting out the mud. That's what they say. They say, I got it out the mud. And then they walk away and just leave it as that. He's giving us these details. So I definitely say check out the visuals that accompany this thing. There's just I could speak about every freaking track on here. I love Triple XT. Get to these, get straight to it. Get to these, get straight. I love that chorus on there. He references Skeeto on that bit. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. And that visual is kind of dope too, because it's got a bunch of kids, and their kids are just doing like grown up, like street dudes, not street dude stuff, but like they're just like they're driving cars and stuff, and they're just like, but it's like when you were young, you're like, oh, that's my car, that's my car. You have these dreams and these wishes of what is like when you get older. But just like Skilo is like, I wish I was a little bit tall. It's like these dreams of what the possibilities can be. And it's so amazing that even in all these struggles that he's talking about, that he's walking us through, to still be able to dream, to still be able to hope, and you go home, you sleep at night, nothing to eat, and you had sleep for dinner, and you're still able to have like that, and to come out on the other end and be able to be like, yo, I'm in a place now I can just reflect on that and talk about it and put it in my rap and put it on out for the world as art. And a nigga like me go like Darwin on YouTube, I hear talking about and analyzing the joint. Man, these rappers, I sound like a broken record. I keep saying this. Rappers are current age poets. These are poets. Some are a lot better than others. There's a lot of poets that existed throughout history that we don't have in our history books, that we don't know they were out there. They weren't as good enough, or they weren't as commercial enough, I guess, in some cases. So you can't judge rapping and hip hop by the most like bland commercial, you chew it up, you spit it out stuff. There's some poetic stuff happening in hip hop, and it's been happening for a long time. And it's the same poetry except it's to a beat. You got to listen to what these people are talking about. They're talking about some real stuff, and that's what poetry was about. It's supposed to hit you in this emotional space, and these dudes are leaning into that, and that joint still sound hard. That joint still sound bouncy. That joint still get your head snapping. This freaking man, TDE is on a run. You talking about Doechii, Ab-Soul, Scissor, GNX dropped last year. It's crazy. This has to be the whatever Death Row was doing had that run. This is like this. They've had a longer run than Death Row. TDE's had a way longer run than Death Row. And it's just like they're not just putting out. They're curating stuff. They're not just putting out a bunch of stuff. Freaking No Limit Records, they had a good run, but they just put out a bunch of stuff, and like some of the stuff just did not hit. I did not like that Snoop album, bro. I did not like. They just put out a bunch of stuff. They just freaking flood the zone. But TDE is curating their shit. They got Vaughn out here with this project that's not even an album, and this joint is better than a lot of people's full studio albums. It's freaking. This should be Grammy nominated. Really? Real talk. I never heard of a mixtape doing that, but then again, I never heard of a freaking diss track being Grammy not winning Grammy. So like, man, subscribe to this channel, because I'm subscribed to TDE and whatever the hell they dropping. So if you want to know about what TDE doing and you don't want to follow them yourselves, I'll take care of it. I'll watch out for it, because it's gonna be all beautiful stuff, and I can't wait for whatever they got coming up next. I can't wait to see what Vaughn has for his whatever full-length studio album he's got coming up. Akeem Ali just released his new album, The Texture Tape. This joint came out April 24th. Got 10 tracks, smooth, retro-inspired sound. This project highlights his signature fusion of Southern rap and Mississippi funk. He's known for that Kimi Casanova, right? This alter ego he developed. He kind of came about this character accidentally. It was something that he was playing around with, and then like his audience, his fan base kind of like, trying to get him to lean into that. And he did, he had to sort of like grow into and evolve into the charismatic, the complete confidence of Kimi. And now I think it's evolved to where he's taking it on. I was listening to an interview with him, and it's not that he is taking on this pimp style Casanova persona within himself. It's still a character for him, but the confidence that it's allowed him to grow into and to mature into, he doesn't know, if maybe he would have eventually got there, but this would just really helped him in that journey to really like feel himself and love himself and not in a narcissistic way, more like, yo, I'm good the way I am. I am wonderful. I'm beautiful. I'm confident in myself and I love myself, right? And it's just building up the Kimi Casanova thing that helped him get that way. This is I'll say this much though. This particular album is a little bit more subdued than Mac in the Day. Mac in the Day, I think was his previous joint. That one was like hardcore, just bombastic, just straight leaning into the pimp verbal. I mean, the lyrics and everything, even the interludes and stuff was just about like pimp talk and stuff like that. Versus this joint, which is it's a lot of slick talk still, but it's more just the confidence of feeling yourself, right? And being like, you should be feeling me too, right? The production on this joint is smooth. It gives you like almost like a cassette vibe. They even have some I think they insert some like vinyl like grittiness like in some of the tracks that makes it sound like something that was from back in the day. It's like retro futuristic sound that's going on. Like you would think that uh there's influences of like Parliament Funkadelics. There's a lot of sampling that's going on in this thing. Curtis Mayfield, a lot of the instrumentation puts you in that groove, puts you in that space, but it still combines this old school vibe and music with a lot of the modern touches, like these the trap style hi-hats and 808s. It's a concept album, so it's all like okay, so it's called the texture tape, right? It's all these fabrics. So we got polyester, leather, Egyptian cotton, like the whole thing goes down. And he's like, and he does something like really cool with this because I'm like, okay, well, yeah, this song does feel like polyester, or like the polyester joint is it's a groovy track, it's got this bubbly bounce, it's perfect for like a late night vibe, right? The Egyptian cotton, it's luxurious, it's a slow jam, it's got these lush pads and deep, silky textures to it. Velcro is a little bit more playful. It's a textured beat that has the stuttered rhythm that matches the metaphor of Velcro. The dope one is the last one on this is Cowhide, which fuses this Western guitar twang with a soulful funk. It's like cowboy cool, right? It even have like a subtle you gotta pay attention to this if you trying to catch it. There's like even like a whistle, like that's like a little bit in the background, almost like a it's not exactly that tone, but it's like this whistling that's going on in the back. It's cowboy cool. Freaking cowhide is what that joint is called. There's a lot of cinematic experience that's happening here. It's quite minimalist in terms of the production, which allows his vocals to really stand out. But it accompanies the lyrics to where it puts you in that, it creates that entire environment for you. Like, okay, I am this is Cashmere. This is one of the tracks, is Cashmere, right? I definitely recommend checking out there's a visual, I think he does visual components to almost every track on here. And it's all very simple stuff. It's a one shot straight on. It's 70s fashion, 70s decor, just that Casanova look. The color schemes are still having that retro look to it. The interior design is different for each of them, and it's like, oh, this I like the way you did this. The leather one, is there leather? Yep, there's a leather second track. Got the leather jacket on. He's on the leather couch, and he's just sitting on the couch, just like rapping this whole song. The whole list, just one shot on him. It's freaking amazing. There's this other one, and all of these are dope. So I definitely say check out the visuals when you check out this album. It's not a project that is introspective at all, or it's more about like, yo, watch me lay down these tracks, watch all these metaphors and double entendres and symbolism and all this. That's all it is. It's just like him just playing around with the dictionary and having fun with it and just making the listener just feel good about himself. I think this is what this album, you know, that song, what's that song? That Usher track. Is it After the Night? That's the girl about me. Truth. No, is that you don't have to call. It's okay, girl. So like when you getting ready at the shower, you're finishing up that shave and you're putting your smell nice on, that's what Usher was feeling when he was getting ready to go out, getting ready to go out to the date, getting ready to go out. This is like a pre-gaming album. Either that or maybe you in your car by yourself, windows down, preferably a convertible. Gotta be. Throwback, right? And just freaking got the one arm out and you just like cruising. Just listen, just feeling good about it. You want to feel good about yourself. You want to feel sexy. Want to feel grown man sexy. Put this joint on. That's what I'm talking about. This album is just smooth. It's confident. It's charismatic. Like I said, you ain't going there for like a lot of deep meaning and background into Akeem. But if you're trying to feel good, if you're trying to hear that slick talk, and you're like, ooh, wait, you talk that talk, player. This is what you put on. Matter of fact, you might learn some lines on this joint you might use on your next date. Grammy winner, Ledisi. She's out with her 12th studio album, The Crown, dropped on April 25th. I'm a little bit behind, but man, it's great to see her this far along, this long. She is R&B. She is soul music legacy. Definitely a rock and roll Hall of Famer to be. She really got it out the mud too. Grew up in a house full of trauma and served tables for a while. She started off her joint selling tapes out the back of her trunk like Master P. Like Master P does. She talks about that too when you ask her in these interviews. Coming out of New Orleans, but then was raised in Oakland. She began performing at 8 years old and studied opera, the piano at Berkeley. Now she teaches at Berkeley. Freaking Grammy nominated like a dozen times. I think she won Best R&B Performance when she won that Grammy. Man. Now this album, the production is dope on this joint, polished, expansive. Of course, it's going to be blending your R&B, your classic soul. If you want some classic soul, this is where you come to Ledisi for that. Of course, there's these as she's known. She's got it's all positive vibes, positive energy, some gospel stuff in there, motivational stuff. It's all polished and textured and rich. But that's what you go to Ledisi for. That voice, she has to be like, she has to, she might be the she might be the most skilled vocalist alive right now. At least that's recording. She might not have that as high pop recognition or fan recognition, but she's got the accolades for it, and she backs it up with her sound. There's these strings that's going on the album. Sounds amazing, sounds dope, sounds live, sounds authentic, dynamic. So, and it's mixed in with the production, but it sounds like it's all like real instrumentation, even if some of these things are more generated and electronic. But you feel like you're in one of those like throughout this whole joint, you feel like you're in one of those like, yeah, it was like the live when you like the corner bar that has the live music on the Friday night, just the grown folks, the grown and sexy night. It's grown and sexy all over. Grown and sexy all over the joint. But it's like positive. It's vibey. You want to really have this joint on when almost like background, but it does set a mood. You don't. There's a lot of messaging that's happening in some of these tracks, especially that track like Black Woman, or Heaven. I Do is another. There's a lot of good message, but like it's also the sort of thing that you just want it to put you in a space. So you can do both. You could just like listen and lock in, or you could just have it on in the background and just let it take you away. That really showcases her 4-octave mezzo soprano range on this joint, which she's known for. It's blending, depending on the track. She'll be blending the vocals from some deep register place. She'll just like pick it up from there and then just go into some opera falsetto or something. It's amazing. I would never. I could never. Not that I'm a singer or anything like that, but I've been saying I've been trying. You see, I get the high register sometimes. I try. Have a little bit of range. She just does it so effortlessly. And she looks like she's having a good time every time. I definitely recommend checking out her music videos. It's always just so positive. You just feel good. Listen to it. The Crown, thematically, it champions strength, self-love, dignity, power. Like I said, it's a celebration of Black love and identity. Particularly listen to that track, Black Woman. I love the visual for that one. It's just a bunch of still shots of like Black women through history and modern times. It's black and white, but it's very empowering. And she wrote it for that specific audience, and it's dedicated to that specific audience. But hey, I can look vicariously, be like, man, proud of y'all. The deep stuff. It's a bold cultural statement that's happening in all of this. It serves as a personal and collective anthem, affirming truth, grace, and soulful power from top to bottom. The closing track, it's called The Crown, right? So from the album, Trombone Shorty is on that joint. That's how you close. She's from New Orleans. So to close that out with Trombone Shorty is just like, chef kiss. It's just a perfect capstone for this project. There's these like muffed 90s bass. So it's got like a modern pop-ish, pop adjacent production on that. It's a dope blend. I don't know how they do it, but I was pleasantly surprised to hear it turn out the way it did. It's the type of joint that you put that bit on a Sunday or Saturday morning, throw the windows open, throw the shades open, let that breeze come in and just like feel good about about life. You just feel good about the day. It's a great way to start your day. You start your I know Mary J. Blige does this with some people, right? And some of her albums, you throw those on and you just feel like I'm gonna start my day like this and this energy I'm going into the day with. That's what Ledisi it put together here. Um, Recommend checking out her Tiny Desk if you haven't heard it in a while. She's got a dude with the guitar and a dude that's sitting on the box, keeping a beat with the box. It's a dope performance. One of the top minimalists. She's got one backup singer sitting down the whole time. She ain't coming to play either. She's sitting down, but she ain't coming to play either. She looks amazing on this, and that's 7 years ago. Dope. It could have been yesterday. And that reminds me of, yo, Lift Every Voice and Sing at the Super Bowl. If you missed that at the Super Bowl, it's still up there. She killed that joint. The best rendition of Lift Every Voice and Sing I've ever heard. Hey, I'm 40-something. Best I've ever heard. Lloyd Banks released his latest mixtape, A.O.N. 3, Despite My Mistakes, on April 30th, 2025, on his 43rd birthday. Shout out to those 82 babies. 1982 was a good year. This mixtape is the third in his All or Nothing series. First one was 2013, dropped another one 2016. And that also he was born in Maryland. Shout out to him. Shout out to Maryland, right across the bridge there. But grew up in Queens, Jamaica, Queens, I believe, right? You know, he's best known, of course, for his work with G Unit. They were the signature sound of early 2000s rap. His solo career, you know, he dropped his first project in 2004, but solo career wasn't as prominent as some of his peers, but he has a loyal following, and his fans always admired the way that he's been able to stay authentic in creating his own music and staying within himself. So like, and he's never gone commercial. I feel like, I mean, he's got some commercial hits, but like, I feel like he still kept it hip hop, right? Like, and kept it true. And so, um, personally, I think he is and or was the best like pure rapper in G Unit from that's just my 2 cents. This project is, I don't know. This is another one of these projects. It's a mixtape, but this joint is better than some people's freaking studio albums, like easily. He's got 18 tracks on here. It's cohesive. It's on theme throughout. It's on message. He is spitting on everything. He is spitting on everything that comes. I know he's got a couple different producers on the joint. Vaughn, Alchemist. I know Havoc had some joints on here. It's layered. You know, it's still streetwise, but it's still like sophisticated. He's saying stuff on here. He's talking about some real stuff on here. And it still has like a blend of that like boom bap, but it's still like a modern aesthetic that still is infused in the whole project. It's very stripped down. A lot of production. It's really good production, but it's like they're not doing too much. They really letting the vocals and the lyricism just like carry the bulk of the weight on this thing. Got a couple of features: Ransom, Styles P, Ghost on this joint, top of the line. Yeah, that's it. 18 tracks. Got, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 features. I love the fact that like a lot of it is they're over 3 minutes. These songs are like 3-4 minute songs. He even got one track that's 5 minutes. Art of Rap, a track 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Art of Rap, where he's just like showing love to rap. And he holds that down by himself, carrying the most weight of that thing by himself. There's some like all of this sharp punchlines, lyrical skill, rhyme scheme. Banks ain't coming to play with y'all. He straight up blacks out on some of these joints. He has his own flow, and he's stuck to his style, and when he get in that pocket, it's like German steel, like precision, straight up. There's a seamless cohesion that happens from track to track that really makes me feel like he took his time on this joint. I mean, it's been since last one was 2016 for this series. It was 18 solid tracks, man. Sometimes you listen to an album, and so this is an hour and 6 minutes. Sometimes you listen to an album, especially like a rap album, and it's like, all right, let me knock out about 12 of these, and I'll come back to it. Nah, you can sit through this whole thing. I ain't got no skips on it. It means some tracks stand out more than others, but like, you ain't no track here like, oh man, this is so bad, let me just skip it. Ain't no skipping track. It might be some tracks that resonate a little bit more with you, but ain't nothing you just say, oh, this is bad. I just skip this track every time it comes on. It ain't nothing like that. Top to bottom, Banks reflects on his evolution. There's a lot of self-awareness going on in this thing. It's a tool for his personal and artistic growth, and just walking us through that thing. This project emphasizes staying true to yourself, besides what's going on in the industry. It highlights his perseverance in overcoming personal and professional setbacks, exploring the weight of past mistakes. It's called "Despite My Mistakes." That's a dope track too. What track is that? Track 6. Despite My Mistakes. Styles P is on that joint. It's a dope track. Definitely check that one out. He talks a lot about mental health and the street life, addressing the emotional toll that the street experience and then fame, how that conflict and how it leaves scars. And he's not sugarcoating it. He touches on loneliness, touches on hardship, but it's not a sad album because ultimately it comes to a place of like renewal, of hope, and growth. Right? He is the project with the track called High Powered. High Powered. All right, let's listen to some of these titles of this thing, man. This dude's very introspective. Like, If I Wake Up, that's one track. If I Wake Up. Determination. Endangered Innocence. Dedication. Determination. Like he's really going high-minded with some of this stuff. This is what if this is what you call conscious rap, like it's still street though. But it's sophisticated, it's smart. This joint is perfect for if you're on a long road trip and you're by yourself, especially, and you just like reflecting on life, reflecting on your journey, and just being honest with yourself on how far you've come or the things that has happened and owning up to those things. It's a very reflective. He even has a bar on here where he goes, for me, it's therapy, not just a recording. Steps right into it, saying it with his chest. Man, Irv Gotti recently died. And 50, that boy just played too much. He put out a tweet or some post somewhere talking about, and the dude just died. He talking about, smoking on that Gotti pack, LOL. Like, I get it. You had your beef with the dude and everything like that, but man, you just be playing to just grow up, dog. This album, I could never see 50 putting a project together like this. This is just too mature. This project, who needs to listen to this specifically? Curtis. Curtis needs to listen to this project and grow the fuck up.